What are you guys learning right now? Fractions. Math. Very good general answer. What's a fraction? Go ahead. Part of a whole. Okay, that's good. So Lewis says a fraction is a part of a whole. Who else can tell me something about a fraction? Harrison. Good. You gotta know your vocab. Which one is the numerator? Which one's the denominator? Allison.
The numerator is what you want, and the denominator is what you want.
Okay, nice. So if I have a fraction here, say 3 out of 5, which one, the 3 or the 5, is the numerator?
The
3. So this is numerator. Have you had this on a spelling test yet? Numerator and denominator. Okay, so Allison said the numerator is, you guys remember what she said?
3.
What is her definition? That is 3, but she also said it's what I want. So the numerator is what I want to have, all right? What does the 5 mean? Evan?
You have.
What I have? So I want 3, but I already have 5? You guys agree? If I say I want 3 of something and I already have 5 of them?
I don't agree.
Emily doesn't agree. What do you think it is, Emily?
How many?
Okay, she said a very important word. She said what the whole, not H-O-L-E. What kind of whole am I talking about? W-H-O-L-E. So this is, what is it about the whole, the 5?
Equal pieces.
Equal pieces. So that's what my whole is broken into. So this is what the whole is broken into. Okay, good. And you guys should know all this. And I have a question. What's the best way to draw fractions? Do you like circles?
No. Pizza.
Who draws circles? Who in here likes circles for fractions? Few of you?
As long as it is okay.
As long as it's okay to draw circles? When is it not okay to draw circles? Is it never not okay? When is it not okay? Bigger? I would have trouble breaking a circle into like 20 pieces. That would be really tricky. Okay, so you might use rectangles. So, let's take a look. You've got this picture here, and these are all circles, and they've got some fraction names, but you also could do rectangles. That looks familiar to you guys?
Yeah.
Drawing rectangles and shading. Do I have to always shade this one?
No.
If I want to do 1/4? No, I can shade any one I want. Just to be fun. Okay, and then if you're comparing fractions, I think you guys have learned how to draw rectangles like that, right?
No.
So look at these rectangles. Have you done them like that before?
No.
What's different about these than the ones you've done before?
Different number, but the same amount.
Okay, so I have all different numbers, but Emily's saying they all show the same amount. Do you agree? Yes, they all show the same amount? How can I have different numbers and have it be the same amount?
Like, look, this because like if you have one piece of the
One piece of 3.
and you have like 2
This one says 2 pieces out of 6 is the same.
Yeah.
How does that work? Lewis, can you give me a reason?
They're equivalent.
Ooh, fancy word. Equivalent. What does equivalent mean, Abby?
They're the same.
They're the same. Kind of has the word equal inside it, right? So yesterday, what did you guys talk about with fractions? Fractions could be equivalent, or they could be what? What were your other choices if they weren't equivalent? Okay, not equivalent, but you have 2 choices, right? If they're not equal, what were your choices? I hope you remember from your homework yesterday. What was the topic you did yesterday in math? Greater than and less than. Good. Okay, so let's look. Which one's which? This is one that always gets, even my middle school students, they don't get these symbols right. Which one is greater than, which one's less than? I think we all can get the middle one, right? Everybody's okay with equals?
Yeah.
All right, I think we can all do equals. How do you remember it? Did you have any fun tricks? Allison, how do you remember it?
I remember that like it's greater than and it's like
Which one of these is greater than?
it's like
Okay, you remember that greater than always faces that way?
this way.
way?
That way.
Charles, which way do you think?
We used to see from left to right, so if the left is doesn't have like that one. Pointy one.
Pointing, okay.
It's left.
Nice. So reading left to right, and it has the pointy end on the left, so it's less. Everybody has their own little trick, and I'll tell you, even my middle schoolers are not very good at remembering these. Some of my middle schoolers remember that the less than sign, like this, but it kind of looks like an L sideways, so they remember less than. Some people, have you ever had a teacher teach you that it's an alligator?
Yeah.
Eating things? What does the alligator like to eat? Which number?
The bigger.
The bigger number. Why? Why would an alligator want a bigger number?
Because the bigger number is more.
Because he's hungry?
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever you want to do, whatever fun little trick you want. So which one is this? Right here. Greater than or less than? Gloria. Less than.
Yeah.
Good. All right, and now you guys yesterday compared them. Now we're going to go to not just comparing two numbers, but we're going to have groups of numbers and we're going to put them in order. And I think this is really easy. So I'm going to show you how to do this next problem. Ready? We want to write these fractions in order from smallest to largest. And ready? I think this is super simple, so I'm just going to do it for you. So I want smallest to largest. So here's my answer. Easy.
No.
Because 3 is my smallest, right? And then 5 and then 10. Easy.
No.
3 is not the smallest number?
No.
3 is not smaller than 5?
3 is the biggest. 3 is the biggest.
But isn't 3 smaller than 5?
Because
Okay, so my reasoning doesn't work here with fractions. So I have a problem. Evan, what's my problem?
Because 1/3 is like 1 pizza and 3 peas.
Okay, so if you're eating a pizza,
1 piece.
you're telling me you're cutting it in 3 pieces and I ate 1 piece.
Yeah.
So why is that not smaller than 1/5?
And 1/5.
Emily, why is this not smaller?
Because the pieces are going to be bigger. Because there has to be the same size pizza, but the last pieces are all bigger pieces.
Okay, so if we're going pizzas, we're talking circles, right? So you're saying, and I'm really good at circles. Aren't those pretty? I call them potatoes. They're very beautiful. All right, Evan says I need to make this into 3 pieces. And I ate 1. Emily's saying if I cut up this second pizza, I'm cutting it into 5. Oh, this is going to challenge me. Can I draw 5?
Yes.
Can I do it well? No. Way to be honest. All right, so this one I ate 1. All right, McKenna, how many pieces do I need to break the next pizza into? This one. 10 pieces. Which pizza would you want to eat out of, McKenna? Are you really hungry? Do you want this piece of a pizza? Or do you want this one? Or do you want to eat 1/10? McKenna's not very hungry. She wants to eat 1/10.
Yeah.
Depends on what's on it. What if there's like anchovies on it or something gross?
Octopus.
Octopus? Who wants to eat a pizza with octopus? Oh, you guys are weird. All right, so you guys said I'm wrong. I can't do 1/3, 1/5, 1/10. And you said, because if I'm eating pizza, this is more pizza, that's not quite as much, and that's not as quite as much. Can you give me an explanation without pizza? Why, in a fraction, does this go absolutely backwards of what I thought it would be? Allison? Each one's smaller. Why is that? Why, if I cut it into more pieces, each piece is smaller? So? They have to cut them into equal pieces. So each one has to be smaller. Because how many pieces did I tell you to cut this one into? 10. How many pieces did I say cut that one into? 5. That one 3. All right. So what I thought was easy wasn't quite so easy, was it? Okay, so I got it now. I got it that 1 part out of 10 would be the smallest. 1 part out of 5 is next, and then 1 part out of 3 is the next.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's see if I can do this next problem then. All right, I want to try this one then. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay, so you guys told me the tenths are the smallest, the fifths are next, and the thirds are next. So this one, I'm going to write them in order from smallest to largest. You guys told me tenths are the smallest, the fifths are next, and the thirds are the biggest.
You're wrong.
Wrong again? Why?
Because 9 tenths is like you cut 10 pieces and do 9 pieces.
Oh, I ate 9 pieces out of 10. So you can't just look here.
Yes.
So you first have to look at the denominator, right? 10 pieces.
Yeah.
But Evan's saying, I'm eating a whole lot of pizza here. If that's a Costco pizza, I'm really full. If I ate 9.
Oh.
Okay?
I can do that.
9 out of 10 on a Costco pizza?
I'm going to eat 10.
Wow. It's amazing. So, this isn't right. Now, I don't want you guys to get the thought that it has to be pizzas and it has to be circles. You can draw this. Has anybody ever eaten a rectangular pizza before?
Yeah. It's square pizza.
You have square pizzas? Could you make a rectangular pizza?
Yeah.
Why not? All right, so if I did this on rectangles, my numbers were 9 tenths, 3 fifths, and 1/3. Write those down on your piece of paper in front of you. 9 tenths, and then we're going to draw rectangles. So the numbers are 9 tenths, 3 fifths, and 1/3. Everybody write those 3 down. And I want you to draw 3 rectangles. And I want you to draw them like I drew them up on the board. Why do you think I drew my rectangles like that? One right on top of the other. Does it matter? It's nice the lines on the paper, you can do it. Some of you are teeny tiny little writers. I like big pictures. 9 tenths, if you guys drew your rectangle, little teeny tiny long little rectangle, when you started to break it into 10 parts, could you do it very well?
Yes. No.
I think I've seen some of your work from other times where you guys have mixed up some of these because you did tenths and eighths and you did them so tiny that you couldn't tell them apart. Draw it pretty. All right, so how do you draw 9 tenths? Allison, teach me. How am I going to do 9 tenths on here? What will I do first if I'm going to make this top rectangle 9 tenths? Okay, Allison thinks I should do the middle. And then each side, what's it going to have to be? 4 and 4? Or are we going to make 10 though?
Yeah.
I'm going to split 10 up equally. It's going to be
9.
how many on each side?
4. 4.
4 lines.
Yeah.
4 lines. Oh, 4 more lines. How many parts? 10 parts. 4 lines?
Yes. No.
Are you guys very good at splitting things up? Equal parts?
No. And the other side of
No. Some of us are not very good at drawing. I am not very good at drawing. I avoided art class at all possible because I draw about as good as a 2-year-old. And that's probably being generous. So you guys need to be really, really, really careful. Charles, I like the size of your rectangles. It makes it easy. Those of you who draw tiny, be careful. You might get it okay, but be careful in your pictures. Nice, big, clear pictures help. Good. Now, why are you guys all making your rectangles the same length? Because you guys drew them separately, but you still made them the same width. Harrison, why do you have to do that?
Because if you try to
Uh-huh.
it's like when you cut it, when you try to see how much it, like, when you measure it,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay, so Harrison's saying when he's comparing between his rectangles, it's harder to compare.
because it's not like,
They're not all the same width. Yes, you're looking at the distances, so you got to be really careful. If you are messy at all like me, you might even want to have a ruler out if you have to draw this by hand. Or in a minute, I'm going to give you something to use that will help you with this. So sloppy people can use something that will help them be nice and neat. All right, did I do my 9 tenths okay?
yes.
Great. You want to draw some fists? You can just use your finger. Can you try to draw lines down and make fists? Could the tenths help him make the fifths?
No.
How many tenths make a fifth?
2.
2 tenths make a fifth? So can you use the lines that are already there?
Because it's not equal. No.
So which line is off a little bit up here?
Oh, yes, you can.
That one looks good, because Gloria just said 2 tenths make a fifth. This one looks good.
Not really.
That one looks good. That one we need to nudge over a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the nice thing about here. We
No,
click the eraser.
yeah.
Let's make it smaller.
Yes, you can.
All right, now draw it again. I'm going to use that.
Wait.
Good, nice. Okay, and that one is 3/5, so everybody shaded 3. Abby, what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. All right, I'm shading this one blue for Abby. 1, 2, 3. You guys should be good at doing these, coloring and shading. All right, and then the last one is thirds. You gonna do thirds for me? All right. How do you break it into 3?
2.5.
2.5 what? For figuring out your lines?
There's a 2 line.
2 lines.
Is that equal?
Not equal. Which one do you think needs to move a little bit? If we have to move it around, which one do you think would have to move? You have to click that eraser. That one or this one? Oh, he's moving that one. Now Harrison, you drew these totally equal here. This is a big error that I see in a lot of fraction work is when you draw these, it's easy to make mistakes. How many is this right here? 2/5. Is that going to be equal to 1/3?
No.
No, this gets really tricky to draw. Let's nudge this one over just a little bit, and then I'm going to give you guys something in a minute that'll help this. I think it's supposed to be more like right there
Yeah.
and there. There, can
Yeah.
you shade 1/3 in for me? Yeah. Look here, let's pick a color. What color do you want for shading? Shade that. 1/3 yellow. Okay.
Whoa, so
Oh, beautiful. Your art is just as good as mine. Okay, ready? It's lovely. I'll tell Mrs. Newkirk you passed art today. Okay, have you guys done number lines before? Yes? Did you do some number lines yesterday?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yes, no, maybe so? All right, I want to try this on a number line. So underneath here, I want you guys to draw 3 number lines. This is another way to do it. Now, I know that you guys will be able to compare some of these fractions well without drawing it, but your homework is going to say, use a picture to explain, or draw to explain. So let's see if we like number lines better.
I don't like number lines.
You don't like number lines?
I don't like them.
Okay, what do we have to do first on our number line? Ooh, I see nice arrows. Number lines go forever. What do we have to do first on our number line? Got arrows? Good. What's next? Where do I start on my number line? Arrow means it goes forever. What do I do? Where does it start? Okay, so what are you going to put there? We're going to start like right here. What should I put there? So my starting point is 1?
No.
What's your starting point? 0?
0.
All right, what do you guys think?
0.
Evan says 0. Why would my starting point be 0?
Because the fraction is. Yeah, like 1 is 0 to 1.
Why?
Because it's part of a whole.
What's a whole? If you say, I want a cookie, how many cookies do you want?
Like a whole foot.
1 cookie. So you might say a whole, but what should we really say? 1 whole? Okay, so if you have nothing, you have 0. And if you have a whole, that's 1. Good. So everybody on your number lines, on one side put a 0, and on the other side put a 1. You guys are going to do a lot of number lines in math coming up. Our number lines will go from 0 all the way up to 10, up to 20. Later on, we might even go the other way from 0. So you are going to use a lot of number lines. Okay, and let's do it each time. 0, 1, 0, 1. And then you guys can go ahead and try to draw in your fractions here. while you're doing that, I'm going to give you this very pretty piece of yellow paper that we're going to work with next.
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to draw in the same fractions. I want you guys to do 9/10 on your number line. I want you to do 3/5 on your number line, and I want you to do 1/3 on your number line. Okay, so our first fraction, let's make it be 9/10. So off to the side on that number line, write a 9/10. So on your number line, off here, write 9/10. So Emily, how many parts do you break your number line into for 9/10? How many parts for 9/10? 10 parts. So everybody's going to break their first number line into 10 parts. It's exactly the same as you broke up your box. When Allison did it, she started by putting a mark in the middle, and then she did 4 more lines to make it into 10s. So everybody do that so your number line is broken into 10s. And this can get tricky.
Oh. Can you draw the numbers under it?
That's what we got to be careful of, is how do we put the numbers under it? So everybody see, I've got my lines on here. It's a little bit different than your rectangles, so we need to talk about numbers. It's hard to make them even. Start with one in the middle. And then you got to break them into 5 parts even. So good, 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts. You can just start from the side and not label your 1. Just do equal parts all the way over, and then your 1 is wherever you end up.
Like that. No, that's wrong.
So 1 part, 2 parts, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh. Not very even. 6, 7. Oh, you only have 8 parts. Uh-oh. This gets tricky, doesn't it? 10. Now look at how far apart those two are and how close those two are. That's going to make it tricky to compare. A lot of this chapter, they want you guys to be able to compare number lines. I'm not giving you a whole lot of homework tonight because these number lines are going to take you a while. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good.
Okay.
For some of you, you'll be really good at this because you love spatial stuff and you can spread out numbers well. And for some of you, this is going to be tricky.
Wait, Mommy.
Yeah.
So just write 1.
So yeah, we're going to talk about what to write on the numbers. If you're still drawing your 10ths number line, pause for a second and look up here. Here's my question to you. What's this one?
1.
1? No, because this is 1.
1 out of 10. Oh,
This is 1 out of 10 parts, right? Because we split this into 10. So underneath that first line, everybody write 1 out of 10. What's this one?
2 out of 10.
Why? I only went over 1 space.
Because 0 to 1, so that's 1. 1 to 2, that's 2.
Okay, so hey, this is important. Everybody hear this. Harrison told me it's not another 10th, which in your boxes we usually label them by 10ths. Harrison's actually doing distance here. Everybody look up at the board. Watch what I'm going to write. McKenna, what color do you want me to write in? Purple. Okay. Look up at the board. I'm going to write in purple for McKenna. On your number line, Harrison said going from here to here, that's 1/10. And then if you go from the beginning all the way over here, Harrison, how far did I travel again? 2/10. So you're actually going to label this one 2 parts out of 10. So this is a distance thing on a number line. It's always how far did you go from 0. So the next one?
There's 1, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, so we're going to see a pattern.
Yes.
The next one is the 3rd mark out of 10. The 4th mark out of 10. Good. So do you guys see how to do these number lines? This could get tricky. You will do number lines next year in 4th grade. The shepherd is going to have a lot of fun getting you to do even number lines.
So the end is 10 out of 10?
And out of the end, well, why would it be 10 out of 10 on the end?
10 out of 10 is equals 1.
Why?
Because you cut 10 pieces.
I cut it into 10 pieces,
And you cut it in 10 pieces.
and then you ate all 10.
Yeah.
So you ate 1 whole pizza, or 1 whole cake, or whatever you had. Good, so I put 1 here, but that'd be the same as 10 out of 10. Good, and so you'd eat that. Now let's switch over to our yellow sheet. For your homework, we're seeing how much tricky number lines are. This might be easier. Do you guys see that I left some blanks on your yellow sheet?
Yes.
Do you think you could fill them in?
Yes.
Some of you have done no. I want you to fill it in right now. Look on your yellow sheet and see if you can fill in the blanks. You see a pattern, right? You see halves and you see thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths. Do not lose this yellow sheet. And your homework tonight, I want you guys to use this. Try to do number lines as showing us how tricky these are. Can you guys find, this is just a visual for you. You're not going to have to pull the sheet out or anything for a test, but you might want to compare something on here. Everybody find 9/10 on your yellow sheet. So for sake of time, I want you guys all to switch to the yellow sheet right now, and we can come back and do number lines some more later. On your number line, where is tenths? This is halves, right? Thirds. What do you guys notice about patterns on here? Does anybody see a fun pattern? Lewis, what pattern do you see? Okay, the denominator's going up by 1. Does anybody see another pattern? I see a ton of patterns on here. What's a pattern that you see, Angelina? For the ones I colored in, they're always 1. Good. What do you see about the size of them as you go down? There's 1. Ooh, is that kind of a cool pattern? Is it always the same amount that it goes down? No. Kind of cool. If I shade off just one of each of these as I go down, you got kind of a fun pattern. Kind of. And look at that pattern. It goes here, and in that same pattern goes down here too, right? Which fractions are equal? Do you see that some of these are going to line up? See that one and that one line up?
Yeah, because it's all even.
Why do those line up? Ooh, so you even have a pattern with evens and odds?
Yeah.
Are there an even-odd pattern on here?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. What other patterns do you see? I see that this one right here lines up with that one. Tell me why that and that one too. Why is that a pattern? Why does this one, and this one line up? Lewis.
Because the denominator is 3.
3?
Times 2 equals 6.
Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6, so
3 times 3 equals 9.
3 times 3 is 9. Nice. So you're looking at multiplication table of 3. You're seeing 3s and 6s and 9s. Allison, do you see another pattern?
Oh.
The fractions are always getting smaller. Yep, as you go here because you have more pieces to fill in a hole. These are called fraction strips. And this is something I want you guys to keep. And when you work on your homework tonight, I want you to use that. Now I know some of you already know how to do fractions and comparing, but your homework is going to want you to do pictures. If you need help on a picture, you could use this fraction strip. Everybody in your fraction strip find 3/5. Everybody take your yellow piece of paper, find the row that has fifths, and count over 3 of them. And maybe put a little star or a little mark there. So where's the end of 3/5? Now you got to go to the very end of it. That'd be 3/5, right? Now hold your finger there. With your other hand, count over 1/4 and compare them. All right, which one's bigger? Which one's smaller? 3/5 is bigger. It's further over. 1/4 is smaller. Okay, now with your third hand, find 7/8.
We don't have 3.
All right, and be creative. Everybody get toe and put it up on. Where's 7/8? Use another finger and touch 7/8. Can you count over 7/8?
Yes.
Charles, where's 7/8? Got to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So be right there, right? So which one is all the way across the most?
7/8.
7/8 is the furthest across?
Yeah.
Which one is the next furthest across?
3/5.
3/5, okay, and then which one's the closest? The beginning, 1/4. So if I asked you to write in order biggest to smallest, which one would you write first?
7/8.
7/8. Now, what symbol would I put between the 7/8 and the 3/5?
Greater.
Okay, and which way does that point? Where's the hungry alligator? Which one's he going to eat?
This way.
He's going to eat the 7/8?
No. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
He eats the bigger one. And that's bigger than 1/4. sheet tonight, and if it asks you to draw a fraction bar on there, you can just use this and just recopy just the fraction bars that you need off of this, or at least help you with your spacing so that you can figure them out. Oh, I had a really fun example that I used Harrison's name in, and I don't even get to it. Sorry. I had a great example of you riding your bike and running and trying to catch a bus not to be late for school. Ran out of time. I'll give it to Mrs. Stower. She can do it another day. Okay, last question. Which one do you want? You can have a fifth of a Costco pizza or 3/10 of a Domino's pizza. Which one's going to give you more pizza?
3/10 of Domino's.
Lewis thinks 3/10 of Domino's. Anybody disagree with Lewis?
3/10. What? Yeah. I want the 3. I want the 3/10.
Why? Because it's going to give you more pizza?
Yeah.
Who's eaten a Domino's pizza before?
Oh.
Show me with your hands how big a Domino's pizza
I don't
is.
know.
About.
Second grade.
Domino's pizza. What do you guys think? About like that? Am I right?
I love it.
Okay, show me with your hands how big a Costco pizza is.
I never eat it.
Where's the Costco?
It's very
It's yummy. Alright, so which one's bigger? Costco pizza, fifth of a Costco pizza about this big,
Oh.
or 3/10 of a Domino's pizza about this big. Which one's bigger?
Costco's pizza.
How is Lewis telling me that he thinks a fifth of a Costco pizza is bigger than 3/10 of a Domino?
Costco pizza is bigger. So when you cut
So can I really use this problem for comparing fractions?
No.
What's my problem, Angelina? Why can't I use this?
Because it's a
So we're thinking that the 3 pieces out of 10 here is more than the one, or less than the 1 piece out of 5 here. How can they not be equal? The pizza sizes.
The pizza sizes is not the same.
Not the same. So what did you guys tell me at the beginning when you were drawing your rectangles? I asked you, why did you make all your rectangles that length? Why did you tell me that?
So you can compare.
To compare, you needed the same size hole, right? So this one you can't compare. So be careful. You can't compare numbers if they're not the same size. All right, we'll talk about Harrison trying to catch the bus
Okay.
another day. It was a fun problem too. All right, so in your homework, I've got a couple of questions here for you guys just to practice using greater than, less than, or equal to. And then you'll notice that the next questions 4 and 5, I want you to draw fraction bars or number lines. Number lines are tricky. To try to order the fractions. Mrs. Stowers, you're in one of my questions. You made it. And Mrs. Stowers is giving a prize for somebody who gets the most AR points. And you got to figure out who gets the prize. And because I'm a mean math teacher, there's more on the back. Flip it over. Look at the back. Oh. Just wait till you get to middle school and you're in my math classes.
There'll be 5 sheets of paper. I'm not excited. This is Griffin.
Math.
This is Griffin. I'm not excited.
Talk to your sister. See how much joy she has in my class.
Oh.
Yes.
This is
So this one, I gave you the whole picture. So everybody look at number 7. Let me just make sure you explain it. I gave you a picture of a number line because I didn't want you to take too much time drawing it. So everybody look at number 7. Flip over to the back. Look at number 7. I drew the number line for you. Look on letter A. See my little circle there?
Yeah.
I showed you where the fraction was, and all I'm asking next to it is you to tell me what fraction is that. Letter B, see my little circle? I asked you what fraction is. Maybe do B first. Letter B, what fraction is that? Let's do this together. Letter B, my little circle is right here. What fraction is my circle at?
1/2.
1/2. So everybody write 1/2 over here. Letter C, what's my fraction, my circle at?
1/3.
3/4. Good. Letter D, what's my fraction at? 3/8. Good. Using that pattern, can you guys go back to letter A? What would that fraction be?
1.
That's not a fraction. That's a whole number.
16. I think it's 1 out of 1.
Good. Charles thinks 1 out of 1. What do you guys think? How much do you have? You have 1 part. What did I break the whole up into? 1. Good. 1 out of 1. So when you're done with that, all I'm asking on the bottom is for you to write the fraction from largest to smallest. You have all your fractions that you've written down on there, and you can write them largest to smallest. Good. And now looking at these, write these fractions. Which one's the biggest fraction out of this list? Good. Which one's next biggest? Careful. Which one's the next biggest? Which one's the next closest to 1 out of these 4 fractions? Fractions. That's too easy, right? A, B, C, D. Write the fractions in order, biggest to smallest. Fraction bars are like this that you drew here, your boxes. Could be like this, yep. And you can use this to help you too. So if you look here, like you want to do 1/4, so you're going to draw something that looks like that. And then underneath it, you're going to draw ones with 6s, so you can draw something that looks like that. This will help you make your pictures. Okay, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fractions. You only have 4. Which one are you missing? Oops, you got to write it at the front. Put little commas between them too, so you can see the difference. That's not the biggest. Which one's the next biggest after this one? Biggest would be furthest away from 0 or closest to 1, right? Which one's your next biggest? Yeah, that one. Okay, make sure you guys are looking at your numbers. Which one's the biggest on number 7 would be closest to 1. Next biggest would be next closest to 1. Good, that's the biggest. So which one's next biggest? This is a whole, right? So I will put your 5 dots. You already did that dot. Out of the next 4 dots, which one's the biggest? Closest to 1. That dot, that dot, that dot. Yeah, that's your next biggest. Good.
It's okay.
Harrison, there's your example, just so you know. I did write a whole example just about you. I could have done Emily, but she would have given me a